Welcome to another informative episode of the AWS Cloud Practitioner exam question series on Exam Tricks and Tips channel. Please like, share, and subscribe to get regular updates on new episode releases. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome to episode 17 of Cloud Practitioner series. We'll be covering question number 96 to 100 in this episode. So let's get started. Question number 96. A developer needs to maintain a development environment infrastructure and a production environment infrastructure in a repeatable fashion. Which AWS service should the developer use to meet these requirements? Here's my version of markups. We need a service that could help us maintain the infrastructure in a repeatable fashion. Now, when you say repeatable fashion, we need something that's template driven. We want something which you can create a script for or a template for, and then use that template over and over again in an automated fashion so that your effort is low because all the time you're using a template to recreate the infrastructure. And when you automate put automation on top of the templating, your manual effort is also low. That reduces the error rate as well. Obviously, you get the speed, the effort is low, overall cost of managing the infrastructure becomes then much lower. So that's the service we're looking for. And we have done this service in past, so you probably have guessed the answer, but I'll go by elimination technique just to rule out the incorrect options, and then we'll get to the correct answer as well. So first one, obvious wrong to me, is option A, AWS Ground Station. Now this particular service, it's a new service, and we'll go over the documentation for this later on. So this service is designed for processing satellite imagery, not for managing infrastructure. So this is a very special case use service of AWS for managing satellite imagery. So it's incorrect. Rule that out. Second one, AWS Shield. Now, AWS Shield is a protective solution. It protects your resources from DDoS attacks. It's not a deployment solution. So AWS Shield is also incorrect in this case. Looks like the options, the way they have been laid out, it's very easy to eliminate. The third one is AWS IoT Device Defender. This is a security solution for IoT devices. It's not an infrastructure management or a deployment solution. So that's gone as well. So very nicely, we are left with option D, AWS CloudFormation. It is a solution which is template-driven solution. It automates the infrastructure. It uses a reusable template-driven code to do that. So final answer for this particular question number 96, is option D. Exam tip for you: if you got any question around automated template-driven infrastructure provisioning in the context of AWS, your answer is CloudFormation. Let's move on to some reference documentation as well. AWS CloudFormation, that's the first one, the answer for this particular question. As this documentation explains, AWS CloudFormation is a service that helps you model and set up your AWS resources so that you can spend less time managing those resources and more time focusing on your application that run in AWS. You can create template that describes all the AWS resources that you want, like your EC2 instances, databases, and CloudFormation takes care of provisioning and configuring those resources for you. You don't need to individually create and configure AWS resources. So yeah, that's what our question was requiring. And you can see AWS has created services which takes away anything to do with infrastructure management and deployment away from you, whether it is itself like instances like EC2 or a service which is used to spin up those servers, which is AWS CloudFormation. It wants you to minimize as much as time is required to manage the infrastructure so that you can focus on what is your strength and manage your application, improve your application logic so that you can cater to customer in a better way and obviously grow your business. So that's it on AWS CloudFormation. AWS Ground Station was a new service that we saw. So here is a reference documentation for it. As you can see, it says it easily controls satellite and ingests data with fully managed ground station as a service. So a very specific service. I encourage you to go through this particular documentation, and also there is a short video here. Please go through it. It will give you a good overview of what this service is about and the use cases of this service. Moving on, the third service, which we saw first time in the context of this series, is IoT Device Defender. So as it says, it's a security management service for your IoT devices and fleet. You can have this Internet of Things devices plugged with AWS services, and this Defender service basically provides a security for these devices. You can go through this documentation and go through this short video about AWS IoT Device Defender to understand a bit more about it. So that's it on the question. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 97, which task is customer's responsibility according to AWS shared responsibility model? Please read the question. So here is my version of markups. Basically, responsibility model is the keyword here. Well, you need to remember the exam tip I have told you. In case of shared responsibility model, you need to split into two parts. Security of the cloud, it's AWS. Security in the cloud is customer. Now we are looking at customer's responsibility to any option which is around managing, environmental controls, physical devices, access to data center, uh, maintaining the security of the overall cloud. All of that should be excluded. In case of solving shared responsibility model question, the key example for you is the security of the cloud is AWS responsibility. Security in the cloud is responsibility of the customer. So of the cloud would include anything to do with physical environments, access to the securing the overall availability centers, physical environments, whereas customer responsibility will be around configuration, etc. We'll go options one by one, eliminate the wrong options, and we'll get to the correct answer that way. So first one, maintaining the security of the cloud. Exactly what I told you. This is AWS responsibility. They are responsible for physical environment and controls of the data centers. So this is an incorrect option from a customer responsibility perspective. So we rule that out. So that's gone. Then option C, that's the next wrong one for me. Patching of operating system of RDS instances. Now, RDS is a fully managed SQL database service, so there is no patching of OS needed. So in case of managed services, you don't do patching of OSs as part of customers. It is part of then responsibility of AWS because you're not owning the instances. You're owning the software as a service, which is in this case RDS. You're not owning infrastructure as a service. So that's gone. And then the last one is also to be ruled out because it talks about implementing physical and environmental controls, which is completely AWS responsibility. And that leaves the last option, which is option B, which is a correct answer in this case, which is configuration of firewall and networks. You can get firewall and network elements from AWS, but configuring them as per your own need, providing the right level of identity and access, roles and privileges is all your responsibility. So most of the configuration activities is yours because configuration comes when AWS gives you something as a black box, and then you want to tailor it as per your need. You want to give accesses to the employees you want. You want to provide the security protocol as per your wish. So this is the correct answer. And answer B is the correct answer for this particular question. Exam tip, as we already covered, security of the cloud is AWS responsibility and security in the cloud is customer responsibility. This is a very important topic. You will definitely get questions around this in the exam. So please do all the scenarios and always take a step back when you see the options based on this exam tip. Security of the cloud, AWS, and security in the cloud is customer. That's it on this question. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 98, which AWS service helps deliver highly available application with failover for multi-region and multi-AZ architecture? Please read the question, highlight the keywords. So here's my version of the keywords. We want to have a solution which has fast failovers for multi-region and multi-AZ architecture. We haven't done this service, and even if you get this question in exam, when you have not done this service, I'll tell you a technique how we can get to the correct answer, our typical elimination technique, because I can already see a few wrong options here. So let's go one by one. The first option, AWS WAF, it's a firewall. It's used for protection. It's not used for redundancy or providing a multi-region failover. So that's wrong. It's a protection solution from attacks. I'll skip the next service. I have not seen this service. And assuming you haven't seen this service and this is exam, let's see how we could still answer the question. AWS Shield, similar to the firewall in option A. AWS Shield is also a protection solution that it defends against distributed denial of service attack, DDoS attack, but it doesn't handle any failover or disaster recovery. So that's wrong as well. So we have eliminated successfully two wrong options. They're obvious wrong ones, and you will always see even if a question is tough and you have to choose one answer, you will be easily be able to eliminate two of the four options. Now we're left with the AWS Direct Connect and AWS Global Accelerator. If you look at option D, AWS Direct Connect, it is a network connection solution. So you can use Direct Connect to connect AWS services with, say, on-prem. And between these two, you can also do a bit of redundancy, like have two direct connections to provide failover and redundancy in case something goes wrong. But this is all between on-prem as well as AWS. It's not for multi-region scenario and providing failover within AWS. So that way, it is an incorrect option. And that leaves us with the final option, which is the AWS Global Accelerator. And this is the right answer. Now, we have answered this question without knowledge of this service. So we will go a bit deeper into the service as well, and you can read it. And obviously, the next time you get this question, you'll be able to straight away answer without any need for elimination. But I walk you through the technique where in case you see a completely new service which is probably the answer, then how can you still use elimination technique for eliminating known services that we have seen? So AWS Global Accelerator, option B, is the correct answer for this. It features automatic routing, fast failover, and reduced latency, everything that has been asked in this question. I'll go over some features of AWS Global Accelerator. So it provides automatic routing. It directs traffic to the closest and the healthiest endpoint across multiple regions and availability zones. It provides fast failover, instantly redirects traffic to another healthy endpoint upon detecting an issue with your primary endpoint. It reduces the latency. It improves application performance by routing traffic through AWS's highly optimized network infrastructure. It provides simplified network management, provides a single entry point for managing your applications traffic across multiple regions and ACs. So this is all the detailed reasons why this particular option is the correct one. We have seen new services in this question, so we will go over it, and some of the older ones we will revise as well, as we have not done this for a while. So the first one, web firewall. So this is web application firewall from AWS, and it protects your application from common exploits. We have done this service and the discussion on common exploits in detail in previous videos, so you can refer to it. You can refer to this documentation as well. Also look at this short video, which will explain you what's the purpose of AWS web application firewall. The next one in this list, AWS Shield, another security protection mechanism from AWS. It protects the application from distributed denial of services attack. I have explained this attack in detail in one of the previous episodes, so feel free, if you have not gone through that series, feel free to go over it again. There's a short video here as well. It explains you what is the AWS Shield service. Please go through it. That would give you a clear understanding of the purpose of this service in the context of AWS. The next one, the answer for this particular question, which was Global Accelerator. So here's documentation for that. It improves application availability, performance, security using AWS's global network. So please go through it again. There's a short video here. Go through it to understand the importance of this particular service. So I believe that's all the documentation on this service. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 99. A company has a set of e-commerce applications. The application needs to be able to send messages to each other. Which AWS service meets this requirement? Please read the question, mark your keywords. Here's my version of markups. We have applications and we need to send messages to each other. We have done a similar question in past involving the service, which is the answer for this. I believe if you have done it, please mark your answers. In case we haven't understood it yet, I'll go through the elimination technique here. So first option, AWS autoscaling. We know autoscaling is used for scaling your infrastructure based on the application's demand. If you have high demand, you will get a more number of server, better power in the servers. You will get more nodes added to your autoscaling group. It's nothing to do with sending messages through applications. So that's wrong. So we rule that out. Next one, elastic load balancing, again, similar to option A. It's about distributing traffic across multiple web servers. So it's not designed for any inter-application messaging. So that's wrong as well. And as we have seen here again, 2 of the 4 options are obviously wrong, and you were able to eliminate straight away. And we are left with option C and option D. Amazon Kinesis data stream, which is the option D. You have seen this particular option in the previous questions in the previous episodes, and it's used for handling high volume real-time data stream. Whenever you have a scenario could be you have IoT devices and you want to in real time stream data from IoT devices into AWS, and you would use this service for that purpose. It's not a messaging service, it's a data transfer service between various AWS and other devices. So, and it is used whenever there is a real-time data transfer requirement is needed. So we don't need this particular service for the requirement that is outlined in this question. So we rule this out. And that leaves us with Amazon SQS. It is the service used for making your application distributed. And then you can use SQS queues to send messages between the application components. So it's a queuing system. It provides reliable messaging queuing, allows application to send and receive messages asynchronously without needing to direct connection or knowledge for each other. So the way it will work is it will send a message, and it will also put some kind of addressing mechanism in the header saying which component it is for, and that component will pick it up from the queue. So it's asynchronous. The components don't have to wait for each other. It's highly scalable. It can handle large volume of messages without any configuration or tuning. It decouples the applications from each other. It's a very
important service from converting a monolithic application to a microservice-based architecture, because then message queue provides the mechanism for the interaction between the components that you have uh, created from the monolithic application. And it is highly flexible as well. This is the correct answer for this particular question. To support inter-application messaging, you need SQS. A fun fact around SQS: when AWS first was launched, this was their main service, and they had chosen this service because of, I think, its usage was highly valuable in terms of converting a monolithic application to microservice-based application. So that's it on this question. We will move on to the next question. Question number 100. What are the benefits of consolidated billing for AWS cloud services? And we have to choose two options from five available options. We have done consolidated billing topic multiple times. I believe you should be able to guess the answer very easily. However, we'll go one by one, elimination technique, and then we'll see what is left and why that's valid answer. Option B, minimal additional fee for use. Now, consolidated billing doesn't incur any additional fee. However, depending on your specific usage and chosen configuration, there might be a cost associated with IAM identities and permission within your organization. There is no, this is not a benefit of consolidated billing, and it's not even related. So I'll rule that out. The next one, which appears to be wrong, is option D, installment payment option. Now, installment payment option is not a feature of consolidated billing. AWS may be providing in certain cases, partial payments, but it's nothing to do with consolidated billing. So I rule that out as well. These two both are, B and D are totally incorrect options. Then next one, yeah, option E, custom cost and usage budget creation. That's not directly influenced by consolidated billing. You can use budgets independently. Uh, and that's nothing to do with consolidation. However, having a consolidated view of your spending can inform your budgeting decisions across all accounts. So this one is also ruled out. It's not a benefit of consolidated billing. You can independently create this. You will not see that in a holistic view, but for individual accounts, you will see budget creation. So that's gone as well. And that leaves us with the two options, volume discounts and one bill for multiple accounts. And those two are definitely benefits of AWS consolidated billing organization as a feature. Because you're getting consolidated billing, your usage of all the accounts, say, for example, you have 100 accounts, they get aggregated. And because usage get aggregated, then you hit volumes which you wouldn't have if the usage was not combined. And because you then hit higher usage, and on higher usage, AWS provides discounts, and thus you get benefit from hitting volumes, and you get volume discounts because of the aggregation of usages across all of the accounts under consolidated billing. That's a correct answer. That's a benefit of consolidated billing. And the last one is one bill for multiple account. Definitely, I think it simplifies account management effort, because now you, instead of getting, say, 100 bills for 100 accounts, you're getting one single bill. From an organization management perspective, it's a very good step for simplification of invoices and payments. If you, obviously, you will say, then we lose granularity. No, you don't. You can have tags, and there are various other reports that you can do under Cost Explorer and Cost and Usage Report, where you could then further drill down and understand which accounts have used what over what duration, etc. So that granularity is also there, and then you get the simplification of one bill under multiple, for all the multiple accounts that you have in your organization. So answer for this question is option A and option C. I believe that's it on this question. We have covered 100 questions, which is a milestone for this channel. So thanks for being with me on this journey. With this 100 question, I think we have covered enough now to allow you to go through all of these questions, and it covers almost all of the topics and variety of questions that you would get. And across these 100 questions, we have covered, not just tried to answer uh, you know the correct answer, but we have discussed each and every option and dwelled over why incorrect options are incorrect. Also looked at this, usages. We looked at the reference documentation, and all this combined probably have given you worth of 300 to 400 questions back. You will get questions which are just variations of these questions. Having said that, we're not stopping here. The series will continue. I'll keep adding questions and episodes to this series. If anyone is looking at this series at the time of recording, which is January 2024, I think you got enough to go over. You revise these questions over and again, not just one time. You can, go through this whole series of 17 episodes at regular speed, or slow it down. take your notes, make a note of exam tips that I have given, and then revise it again and again. Then you can speed up on your second or third or fourth listening of this series. You could then speed up to 1.25 times the speed or 1.5 times the speed, but do not skip through any of the videos. If you go through this series 2 to 3 times, I don't think you need to refer to anything else apart from the reference documentation tips I have given to you. This could be more than sufficient for you to pass cloud practitioner examination with flying colors and high score. So all the best, everyone. As I said, I will continue to post more videos in this series, but I believe this is a logical point where I can um, advise you guys to use this material for preparing for your exam, and also feel free to trust this series, and up to 100 questions are enough for you to then uh, prepare and appear for the exam. So all the best. I'll see you in the next video.
I believe that was the last question in this episode. That brings us to the end of this episode. I will see you in the next episode of this series soon. If you like the content and want to get notified when I release the next episode of this series, then please subscribe to this channel. This is Exam Tricks and Tips. You're watching AWS Cloud Practitioner series. See you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.